Hello and welcome. Today we're talking about the return of a villain slash hero. That's Arjun Kapoor. Welcome back to the theatres.
Thank you so much for welcoming me back to the theatres, and thank you to the audience for welcoming me back to the theatres.
They really did. You know, they have welcomed you back to the theatres at a time when films of big stars have not worked. Your film, which is the return of a franchise, has managed to bring audiences back to the theatres. How do you feel?
I feel really nice at a personal level because nobody's above or below the audience at the end of the day, you know. So when the industry is going through a vulnerable phase, we all want to do well, but at the same time, you also want the audience to come back to theatres. It's not only about just making the money and getting the cash registers ringing. You also want to kind of make sure that the right audience is coming in. Here we had the mass audience coming in. That means that we're making the right noises with the right audiences, because that's the audience that's been craving our attention for the longest time, you know. So I'm really happy that we've hit the spot with the right audience, and specifically for me, to reconnect with an audience that somewhere I'm very, very fond of. I want to work in mass cinema. I want to do that kind of cinema. I started out my career doing Gunde, Tevar, Rishabh I've never shied away from that space, even a Mubaraka for that matter. So for me, this film is a immediate validation that I need to head in that direction, because the audience does like watching me in theatres.
Yeah, you know, I was going to ask you, was it validation, but you answered it.
Well, it is, in a strange sort of way. That's all. You know, when you do films for OTT, the validation seeps in slowly. Different audiences, different mindsets, they see it aram se. When you see a theatrical business, it's immediate. So you know, okay, this audience has latched on, or that audience, or sometimes everybody latches on. So of course, it's immediate validation at a time, like you said, where other films have not panned out as well as people would have liked. For this film to punch above its weight at this point in time, with the circumstances, I'm very, very happy about it.
You know, I went to watch this film on a weekend in Bandra, and the theatre was absolutely packed with people, and you know, people of all ages, and they were very riveted by the storyline. I think what they want is a massy franchise to return to the theatre.
It's a time pass film. You know, sometimes you don't want to come in using all your faculties. You just want to come and have fun. It's been a while since you've gone to the theatre and had fun with your friends, or even members of your family, the younger generation or the older generation. It's just coming and just enjoying a slasher film. I mean, Mohit Suri is very good with his music. He's got the scale, he's got the action, he's got the romance. But predominantly, it's just a lot of fun. You know, 2 hours, 10 minutes, you're in and out. You don't really need to think too much about it. The twists and turns hold you till the end. And I think that's why, like you're saying, if people are sitting in the evening shows, that's always a good sign. Agar evening shows bhare hote hain, matlab log aa rahe hain ki chalo yaar shaam ko jaake masti karenge, we'll watch it. Because a film watching experience is a community experience, right? So if you sit with people who are 200 more people and you enjoy the film, it kind of feels like a family only at the end of the day.
Yeah. You know, also, Arjun, I saw a lot of reports. It was a remake of a Korean film. Then I went and checked all the Korean films that they listed. Something called A Bittersweet Life. Now, it was not that. Then something else as well, it was not that either. It was totally different. I went and looked it up, the storyline. So why do they think it's a Korean film? It's not, as far as I saw.
I think it was speculated. Speculation is very, very easy to do. Gossiping and rumor creating is easy. It's best to let the film answer it. When you see the film, I don't think anybody will be able to compare it to another film. So I think that's speculative. And that gets answered by the film itself. You know, if there is something that is remade today, you give the remake name also. It's not like adapted or remade. So it's not really an issue. And I think when films like these are made, you just assume that it might be a remake. That's
a
the
slasher film. No, Indians can also make slasher films.
So that's what it is.
Be patriotic. We can also make that.
I don't know about that, but definitely there's enough originality in the film.
Yeah, there is. I agree with that. Now, when I saw your character on this film, I was thinking, you know, Arjun already gets trolled for being the son of a rich father.
Not really. I mean, I've not been trolled for being I've just been trolled for being my father's son.
Okay, ठीक है.
Yeah, rich is now.
Rich तो it's implied रख लो. So when you signed on to this, you were like, do I really want to do it? Did that ever occur to you? No.
I mean, I don't know what, I did the role, so then how am I supposed to answer that? No, nobody sits in their house thinks about this word that is magnified by the media. Please understand, it's only a media-made thing. It's a myth. The fact that the film is doing business in itself explains to you that that word that you're using again and again repeatedly over so many months that we've been using it is something that is created at a very low level on Instagram. And those comments are picked up at a very low level for creating clickbait conversation. the fact that when a film does well, despite having me in it playing a role that you would assume that I would have to worry about, and I'm appreciated for it, is an answer in itself that it has no relevance and bearing to the audience that actually pays money to watch it. If that makes any sense. If the fact that you would think that I would have to worry about something that actually is not a serious issue.
Okay, okay. You think it's a non-issue.
Of course it is. The business of the film.
Script, you don't think, okay, this is an issue. You think, no. You know, it has no bearing on anything.
That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
It is a myth that an actor will have to ever worry about trolling when they select material. It is about the fact that the film has done business, hence proves that trolling is not relevant to box office business.
Okay. Trolling is not relevant, guys. Stop trolling me also. Yeah. Just saying. But when you saw the script, were you ever offered both the roles of John
No.
and
I was
yours?
very clear I wanted to do this role because I've not played an urban action character ever. I've always done, I would say, small town or you know, the Gunde, I was a 70s gangster. Tevar, I was a small town boy. So I've never done an urban action film. So I wanted to be stylish doing action. This film gave me that opportunity to be stylish and have a certain visual appeal to the character also. So I was always intrigued and excited. But this is a far
This only character. You didn't want to do Tara or Disha's characters either.
No, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to even discuss that with the director. I had to stick to this one. I'm glad I stuck to this. I don't think I would have been able to play either of those as well as I did for this.
Yeah, fine, agreed. I think you are the best fit for this. You also, all these fight scenes with John Abraham, I know you've been asked a lot about it, but I saw it. Now I saw it on screen. There was that train wala fight
the subway,
scene.
The metro fight,
There were quite a bit of fight scenes with John. Like
that's the fun, Like where do you get to do stuff like this?
Yeah.
I think post-pandemic, I had been craving to do something like this, and the whole fun is sometimes you fight the fighters, and you got to look like a hero, and you got all that, but then to fight a fellow contemporary or a fellow actor or a fellow star, you got to take it up a notch because the audiences does get excited about stuff like that. So I think for me that was one of the bigger ingredients to say yes, is to go man to man versus John Abraham and stand on my own feet. Not about how many punches you give or get, it's just about the visual posturing of two guys are going to take on each other, you know. So that's a lot of fun to watch. Like I love watching stuff like that on screen. So I just wanted to do something. In Gunde, we didn't really have a face-off except one scene. Here, there's a lot more animosity. So for me, that was very, and I love doing action. I've always loved it. I think I'm slightly gifted that way, that even the way I look, action comes naturally to the physicality. So I really enjoyed myself, and John made it much more simpler.
You know, I enjoyed the whole pulpy, campy tone of the film. When making it also, was it all pulpy, campy? You knew how it was going to be, right?
To a great degree, but you know, the tone is more the director eventually. You still have to do it with a certain authenticity, because if you get caught up thinking about the tone, then you might you might then be laughing at the situation yourself, you know. So the fun is to do it with some sincerity and let the audience react to what they enjoy, because it is a slasher film at heart. It is that, you know, it is you're supposed to enjoy the sheer audacity of the film. Like, okay, how is an Uber driver being able to pull stuff like this off, and how is this guy reaching? But if you don't do it with conviction, then somewhere the audience doesn't feel convinced about it either. So I think I went about it with the authenticity, but Mohit is very aware of what he was doing in his tone. So I just followed that completely. Just the fact that how he presented Disha and John in Galia and stuff like that, he was very aware that he was making sure that it's got that treatment to it.
That whole aesthetic value and that whole
he was very clear about it. Since day one, he is very clear about it. His visual sense is quite strong that way.
And I like that, the fact that it didn't take itself too seriously.
Not at all,
sense.
It's not that kind of film. I mean, it's a wrong word to keep saying, but it's an entertainer. It's just supposed to come in and give you bang for your buck, and you're supposed to have fun and get out. You don't have to internalize it beyond a point. You just have to have fun watching it, and I think that's the biggest issue that I feel sometimes we face in these kind of films, is that we don't entertain enough. We try and rationalize everything, and you try and explain everything. Here, it's just a lean, quick film that really just comes in, does its bit, makes you happy, and you're out of the film in 2 hours very, very happy and satiated. I mean, I've had people who said they wanted to go to the loo, but they also wanted to know the twist, so they've not left.
Oh my God, you know, this is true. So I went to the loo right at the end.
And you missed something?
I missed that scene. You know what I'm talking about, right?
No, my father did the same thing. He didn't realize that, because he was waiting to finish the film, and he thought the rolling title started, and he exited, and then I told him about the scene which you also missed, and he was like, oh, He was like, "Arey, I also missed it." Yeah, so that's the
Yeah.
But he said, you know, I didn't get a moment to think in the second half. So that means the twists and turns do work.
Okay, let's talk about the third one.
Listen, I'm always happy. The fact of the matter is that it has to be done with the right story and the right plot, the right thought. I think the first and the second are very different.
Yeah.
Is the third one going to continue from here? Is it going to be different? That's completely on Mohit and Ekta and the creative people. But I'm all game for it because the kind of love and reaction I've got from not only the audience but also when I saw the reviews, what was heartening to know is people really enjoyed the way I played the role. So I would love to come back and play Gautam again. It will be fun for me.
What part of playing Gautam did you enjoy?
I think the fact that, like you pointed out, you know, the fact that you play a rich spoiled brat.
Yeah.
I'm not that inherently.
Yeah.
I'm not a spoiled brat. I've grown up in a privileged background, but I'm very aware.
Yeah.
And I'm very and I try and regard that part of my life. You know, I never flaunt it. I think Gautam is absolutely unabashedly doesn't give a damn about what people think about him or the way he conducts himself.
It's like that 80s Amir Baap ka
Bigda beta,
yeah. It's that very 80s, 90s.
And he has his reasons for it, that's different. But his conduct is, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
So for me to play a character with that attitude where he's okay to do anything is always fun. That's what I enjoyed the most in Gautam. Like, I can understand the social strata, but my thought is, I think completely different from a Gautam. You know, I will always be very aware from where I come from. He doesn't give a damn what you feel about him.
Have you mastered the manic laugh?
I think I did that in the first film. In Ishaq Zade only I had done it, you know.
Yeah, you had a
so I managed to get
laugh,
a laughter there also at interval. And here after a long time in the climax I managed to do something like that. So I actually got very excited when I read the script that the film's climax is not just two people beating each other up, but there's a psychological twist to it. So for me that manic laugh, I won't say it came naturally, but the day I performed it, I remember I really enjoyed doing it after a really long time to have a scene like that you can bite into. You know, the fact that you're able to laugh in a film like this, which is so heavy and about so much of emotional thrust of finding somebody. At the end of the day, you have this release of absolute madness in the film that comes from Gautam's character. I was very happy doing that scene. It's one of my favorite scenes to perform as an actor.
But it's also tough, right, to do that manic without sounding like you're hamming or without sounding like you're trying too hard. I
mean, I think the restraint comes from the fact that it comes just at the right time for the right amount of time. If it was too much through the film, if I had that laughter going on all over, then it would seem like a repetition. So we saved that manic nature for right at the end. He's got this quality, but this laughter, like, we saved it, you know, we've not used it all over, we've only used it in the climax.
Like a little bit.
Yeah, so in the first scene you see him laughing a little bit when he kicks that boy into the champagne chandelier, but apart from that, I tried to not give that laughter unnecessarily everywhere. Otherwise then it would just seem like a repetition, like, okay, he's just laughing again. So that laughter in itself for me was the big performance part of it, you know, to make sure it comes through. It's part of him, but it's heightened far more because he's really enjoying his win at that point in time.
Yeah, I also enjoyed it. I would tell you, I found a lot of parts very campy, enjoyable, but some parts where I thought were quite funny. There were some audience who were very seriously watching it, like, no, like, some people liked it on different levels. Some people, liked it in a very serious manner. Some people liked it as a light-hearted sort of entertainer in one way. So I think it worked on many levels for people.
Okay. I don't know how this film is a light-hearted entertainer, but I'll take your word for it.
I'm
hoping you've seen the same film.
No. It's like, I don't know, girls watch true crime documentaries for feel-good effects, so,
Yeah, but you can't say it's a light-hearted film.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
I mean, it's a very unfair thing to say. People will get misconstrued that it's a comedy.
Fine, fair enough. Not a light-hearted film. But you can take it, it's a fun franchise. It's a fun franchise.
I mean, however you want to call it, it's fine.
Yeah,
I'm confused about my own film after this interview. I need to go back and see it again.
No, it's a very fun franchise. Okay, I'll wrap it up. But most importantly, why was it called Ek Villain Returns? I have some options. Do Villain.
That was a good option.
Yeah, Ek or Villain.
That was also decent. Do Villain was actually something which I really quite liked. But you'll have to ask the producers. I think Ek Villain Returns was something they chose. Do Villain was genuinely something which actually was quite interesting but then I think they wanted all four to come across a certain way. So maybe they didn't want to say Do and just negate the other two characters, the girls, completely. Maybe that's why. Ek Villain Returns also had a nice ring to it. Returns just explains ki part 2 hai without writing the word 2 also.
Yeah, that's also good. Now the problem is the 3. What will it be now?
You give options this time. I'll pitch it to
एक
Mohit
और
Suri and give you a
villain.
script also along with it.
Returns again.
एक villain
और-
returns again.
No.
नहीं थोड़ा लंबा. एक villain again.
एक villain again. No, yeah. Okay, we'll work on it.
चार villain again.
Yeah. Now one last next film you're doing also, you're a villain. You're a lady killer.
Well, no, I'm not. It's essentially a romantic film, so I'm not playing a villain at all. That's the title of it right now. It's not self-explanatory because you've not seen anything. So
Yeah.
the film is actually a romantic film. It's a romantic thriller. It's just a word used to how you say Casanova.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
you also say a lady killer. It's not about a guy who's actually a serial killer. So that's a misconception created sometimes.
It is.
Yeah. So when you see the trailer or you see the posters, you'll kind of understand it's. In the terminology comes from a place of banter, not from his what he does.
Not what he does. Now, oh my God, I thought it was quite literal. Despite the word meaning Casanova, I thought it's going to be bad.
No, I'm doing a film called Kutte. I hope you don't think I'm playing a dog in that. It would be a bit scary.
It's okay. It's a dog's day. It's a dog's world sometimes.
Yeah.
Every dog has its day.
So the
It's okay.
character has the qualities of being a dog. Because of the
but
personality.
not literally. I will not take
I'm
it
not
literally.
literally playing a dog. So Lady Killer also, he's got a personality that really attracts the opposite sex. That's perhaps where it comes from, more than the violent nature of it.
Alright, I'm looking forward to this attractive film now.
Even I
Arjun,
am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Despite me confusing you about the
I'm actually going to
You
go
have
back.
and watch
I'm
the
going to see it
film.
right now. After this interview, I want to see it.
And see if you're
I want to see it
feeling
with
good.
you actually.
Yeah,
That's better. Because I want
are
to
you
know.
feeling good watching it? What part of
Yeah,
this
which
are you,
feel good, which light-hearted moment did you enjoy in this?
and
So
yeah.
I want to explore it from your point of view also. That's a new mindset completely.
I'm the real villain, you know.
Sorry?
I'm the real villain, maybe.
Well, at this point in time, you're the real audience. So I really want to know.
Thank you, Arjun. Always
Thank
a
you so
pleasure.
much.
Thank you.